Okay. And for someone who might be deciding for the first time whether or not to participate in the
Yep.
NCLS survey, what would you suggest about maybe some of the advantages to a first-time participant in
Yeah.
NCLS?
I think I'd like to just share the screen for a minute if I could, because I've already had some slides that I was showing another group. So we do think that with the disruptions like restrictions, etc., this is a better time than ever to be connecting with people. This is a time when a lot of people are feeling disconnected from church, and this is something you can actually do that unifies people and gives them something to do together. And it says, look, even if we haven't seen you for a while, we want to hear your voice in this process. You're a part of us, and your opinion matters to us. As the leaders are going to reflect on where we are as a church and how we're going, even in these unusual times, we want you to be a part of that. So we think it's as important as ever to do it, perhaps even more so because there is a lot of change going on, and many churches are now unsure exactly how connected do people feel to their church, and how many people are drifting out and not really connecting, and at the same time who's drifting in that we haven't really gotten to know yet, and so you can offer them the opportunity to do the survey as well. So I'll say a little bit about really what our thinking is, that we believe that church health is strongly related to the culture of the church. It's a function of the group, of the church, and of the leadership. And we're using that word culture much more now because really I think that's what we're measuring with survey data. When you give everybody a survey, you're getting some really fine detailed information about the church. And so we also say that local church leaders are helped by being given access to facts and trends and comparisons. Not that they are to take the lead and dictate things. Obviously, you already should have your vision as a church and where you think you're going and what you feel your calling is under God as to where your priorities are. But this is something that might feed into that, just to tell you what's going on currently for people. And we think that leaders will benefit from having a tool that makes them think strategically. So we're going to give people in the results outcomes, such as, well, we won't need to tell them whether they're growing or declining. They'll have a sense of that, but we ask them to reflect on that, how they are going at attracting new people, particularly people who haven't had a church background, the group we call newcomers, and retaining youth. So we ask parents about all the children in church, not just those who are attending. And so you get a sense of how much of the total pool of young people in our church are we actually retaining here. And that can be really illuminating because, of course, you know about the people you have, but you don't necessarily know about, those over 15 who are not coming, particularly in newcomers' families. They might never have come. So you get some sense of who else there might be to connect with. But then I think more significantly, the purple stuff on the screen there, the qualities of church life, which in some cases I think you could call church culture, because we feel that those qualities, and that's those balls on the side of the screen there, we feel they are what lead to the outcomes. And in many senses, they're different facets of church health themselves. Are people growing in their faith? Growing as disciples, that's core quality number one that we call faith. It's foundational, obviously, to a healthy church. And so regardless of how growth or decline is going overall, what about just growth in faith? Worship in church, that sense of when we're gathering together, are people finding this inspiring? Are people feeling that they're growing in their understanding of God? Do they feel spurred on to action in their lives? And so that's core quality number two. Or belonging, that sense of how are we as a community, as people of God together? So rather than be individualistic and see discipleship as just something that happens between me and God, it's something that happens to us as a group. Otherwise we wouldn't bother to have church. And so some metrics around that, and of course that comes with your own reflection on how does that gel with how I understand we're going at church. And the comparisons to the past, and thinking when you see a change, how did that happen? Did we Was that just a happy accident that we got better at our sense of belonging, or that inviting went up? That's one of our other core qualities, faith sharing. Or was that because we were intentional about it? And should we be celebrating now because we can see that some decisions we made have actually made some difference because we've done the survey again and we've seen the change? So we encourage people to reflect on those qualities as well.